my name's Lolita Haze, the Vintage Starlet. Welcome back to my channel. Spring equinox was just a few days ago, but living in Vegas, it's already starting to feel like summer. And of course, with summer comes one of my favorite fashion items, and that is the sun top. I love sun tops, and I was in Walmart the other day when I came across some fat quarters, and they were only 97 cents a piece, and I saw a few I liked, so I thought maybe I could challenge myself into making a couple sun tops for the summer using these fat quarters. Let me show you what fat quarters I purchased. So I thought this first one was so adorable, and I thought the artwork was very anywhere between the 30s and early 60s-esque in style of art, so it had a very vintage feel in the art. It didn't look too modern, it didn't look too cartoony, and they are ducks. So I love ducks. Ducks are my second favorite bird after the hummingbird, and yeah, so let's take a close-up look at this one. So you can see the ducks and their little ducklings. Now, unfortunately, I was only able to get this one fat quarter, which you can see isn't very big at all. Because it's in one direction, I'm going to have to finagle a way to at least make the two breast pieces in the same direction. Now, what am I going to do for the rest of my sun top? Well, originally I found a yellow gingham that looked very nice with this, but then I saw this gingham. Now this is a red gingham which has smaller squares versus the original yellow one, and the yellow one did look good with the ducks, but I thought this one just looked a slight bit better, mostly because the red has an orange tone to it, which pulls out the orange of the duck's feet and bills. So you can see how cute these are going to look together. So I did get two fat quarters of the red gingham, which I'm going to use for the side/back and straps. I haven't chosen a sun top yet for this, so I don't even know if I got enough fabric, so that's part of the challenge. Let's see if I can make a sun top using basically $3 worth of material. But that wasn't all. I found yet some more fabric that I really like the print of, and with Easter just around the corner, this is going to add an extra bit of challenge to the challenge. So the extra part of that challenge is getting this done in time for Easter. Now, same with the ducks. This had a very vintage style of illustration to me. The artwork doesn't really pull modern. It gives a little bit of a throwback with the outlines and then the almost slight watercolor shading. It's not quite watercolor, but it's a little bit. So let's take a look at how cute these bunnies are. Now you can see how adorable these bunnies are, and if I can make this in time for Easter, that will be amazing. And just like with the ducks, this is all in one direction. I do have two fat quarters of this particular one, so I'm thinking I'm going to be able to get the front breast, the sides, and back for this, depending on the style of sun top I choose, which I'm gonna pretty much guess is gonna be about the same style. But in order to get the straps and any trim, I did find yet more gingham, but this very Eastery pastel gingham that the purple and green match the bunnies very well. So I thought this would look adorable together, and I think if I keep with just the straps and just like a trim on this, this is gonna look so adorable. And again, the challenge, did I get enough material to A, complete a sun top, and B, will I be able to get this done in time for Easter, which is just shy of a month away. Now, the only additional fabric that I am going to use towards these projects are going to be any fabric I already have for the lining, the inner lining, not for the decor, or not for the outside, not what people would see. It would just be for the lining, and of course the notions, the buttons, the threads, the hook and eyes, whatever I need to do. I'll use those from my stash. As cute as those are, that wasn't the original fat quarter that made me come up with this idea. I was at the dollar store and found a fat quarter of fabric that I love, but I could only find one fat quarter of this. I'm gonna go back and see if they didn't restock, but if not, so let me show you the one I love. And this one was $1.25 because it is the dollar store. I got this adorable strawberries fabric. You could almost say it almost looks like strawberries and raspberries, but I think these are just strawberries in bloom and not quite there yet. Now this is the only piece of fabric I was able to get. Now the fabric or the print does go in every direction, so I think it's going to be easier to make a sun top out of this, at least the front part of the breast, just like with the ducks. And for this one, I will look into my stash to see if I can find any extra fabric to take care of the straps and the sides, or any extra fabric I need to make this on top. Again, I haven't chosen patterns for this yet. Originally that was going to be step 2, but because the audio didn't record this, I went ahead and already did step 1 of this project, which was wash these pieces of fabric. So I have washed and ironed and they are ready to go. So step 1 now is going to be choosing the patterns I want to use for this. So yeah, I don't know how long this challenge is going to take. I don't even know if I'm going to get to this today. So next time you see me, I might look different. I might be in a different outfit. Who knows? Who knows? On to the next step. Something I'm considering with this is taking these dresses and like cutting them off into a sun top. Boom, boom. I'm particularly fond of this one just because I like the button details and this, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this to make it. Really hate that my nails are broken right now because my finger looks stubby. Of these, let's look at them again. Of these ones, I'm particularly fond of this one. So I'm going to put this one aside. I like the idea of this and maybe doing like some lace ruffling, but I don't think it'll work for any of the fabric patterns I have. So next up we have all of these vintage or repro sun tops. I feel like I have more out there, but I can't find them, so I must have tucked them away with other, you know, projects to be made that never got made. So this is what I'm thinking. Naturally, I gravitated towards this pattern mentally for the ducks and the bunnies. This one, I think, even though it's a 70s top, I think it'll be good for the strawberries because I can do the strawberries for this part and then do like a solid color that matches the strawberries, whether it be the green, the hot pink, or the red, as a solid band here, and I think that would look good for that. Now with that in mind, that still leaves the ducks and rabbits. I'm thinking maybe do the, let's see, the rabbits in this one, which is, these two are the same. The rabbits because I have the most, which will cover all of this. And then, I can't tell, let's see, oh, I guess there is a small little band. And then with the rabbits came the gingham, which I think I can do the pastel gingham, the straps and the band here. So I think maybe that's what I want to do for that one. And then for the ducks, this one right here, which has the cute little flappy on it, I figure I can do duck, duck, and then red gingham, red gingham, red gingham. And then the back would be the red gingham as well, if I have enough. I don't know. I do know from trying to make this before, I struggled a little bit with this point here. I could never get it sharp enough. That is still in a projects to be completed pile. I'm just Yeah, I really want to get that one done because I really like where it's going so far, but I started doing that probably 8 years ago. But my other options are, this could be for the ducks because I can do duck, duck, gingham, gingham, and like the gingham bow in the middle would be really super cute. These, let's see, is it this one? This pattern right here probably has the least amount of fabric outside of this one. This may be a default. I like this because I really like the button in the middle, but because of the pattern being a one way with like animals or, you know, like living characters, I don't want to just like crunch them up like I would with the strawberries. I can do that. This one, this is a possibility, but I just don't know how it would look with the characters and then the gingham on the back because I don't have enough to do the whole thing. So there's that. And then I have made this one before, another option, but it's that pleating right there, that ruched pleating that would ruin the characters for me. So I kind of want them as flat as possible so that you can see the animals. Now here we do have some pleating here, but I feel like it's kind of the similar shape as this, except that's scrunched there and this is a crossover. So I think I would end up going with this one. So I'm thinking about doing both of these for the rabbits and the ducks. This one for the strawberries, and these ones would be my backups. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So I'm going to start working on this one. Like I said, I kind of want to cut it off and turn this part into the sun top. Now, a few things just based on my body, the length of torso and sizing. Although this is a 16, I think I'm a 16 top. I'm either a 16 or an 18 right now. It doesn't matter. Just because of the length of my torso, I do like to do a muslin version first, which is smart for anybody, to be honest, to do a muslin version. Now, I'm trying to figure this out using scraps, but I also have other things. I want to see if I'm going to be able to do this with the bunnies. The hard part is knowing if I have enough fabric. Oh, another thing about this. So this dress is actually a side closure dress. Well, I guess it would be on the side. A side closure dress. But if it's going to be a sun top, I'm like, I could do a very, very small side zip, but I don't want to do that. So I think I'm just going to split open the back and do a button closure. So I'll have the functional buttons on back for the closure and then these decorative buttons in front. Because of this, I'm going to have to extend the back a few inches more than just for sizing. And yeah, if this does not work with the bunnies and I don't have enough fabric with the bunnies and the pastel gingham, I think I'll use it for something else because I do like the idea of having this as a sun top. And if I can't get it to be a sun top, then at least it's a start for the muslin for trying to get the dress in order. Because even though the 50s is not my typical decade, I do prefer the 40s. It's still a beautiful dress, and come summertime it'll be very nice. So I'm kind of doing partial work to make the sun top. Again, if I do not have enough fabric for it, I'll use it for something. So my second choices are these two. I'm looking at this one, and I already made this one, so I found the pieces that I had cut out. Being that this is a modern pattern and it's multi-sized, I'm just gonna stick with the size 16 that I have and cut out this one in it, and hopefully I will have enough for the bunnies with the big one. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out option A and see if those pattern pieces work for either the bunnies or the ducks. If it works for either, we're going with that. If not, we're gonna have to look for yet another sun top. But I think I can make this one work.
Voiceover Lolita here. I am cutting out view A in size 16 and laying down the pieces to see if they will fit. The pieces for the middle trim and the straps were far too long for the amount of gingham I had for this, so I knew I was going to have to cut and paste, basically, cut and sew scraps together.
And I'm not worried about the side seam. I'm more concerned about there not being, I'm just more concerned about there not being a seam line right here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the seam lines over here to match the side seam from the front to the back. And then the goal here would be to basically sew it here. I know it doesn't match, but that's okay. Oh, I should have matched that a little bit better at least. There, we'll just do it like that. That'll be the seam line of where this is theoretically how it's gonna work out. So theoretically, that would be how it worked out, and since cut one on the fold, that means these will be the points of matching, just like that. This is the little bit of leftover I have from that fat quarter. Labada bunny, labani. I was trying to make a joke, it failed. Alright, now I have both bunny pieces and I have all the pieces of the ties. Look how cute that's gonna look together. It's really, really cool because all the colors they had to have done this on purpose, I mean, right? All the colors in the pastel gingham are in the bunnies. We have the pink in the ears, the green in the grass and the leaves, and then the blue purple in the flowers. So it's actually really, really cool. And then the off-white or the white in the rabbit itself. I may be able to get this done by Easter. It's not even April yet.
Here I am doing some prep work for the fabric by doing some machine basting stitches. Now I'm marking the darts, which I will sew up in a jiffy.
So after getting started on sewing the front parts, I forgot to cut out the lining. Because I forgot to cut out the lining and my day is starting and I need to get ready for work, I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause. I'm going to try to cut out the lining tonight so that I can continue tomorrow morning on doing the same process of the stay stitch and then the first dart. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and press the dart, which I'm just waiting for my iron to heat up.
Iron, 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 scorch, scorch, scorch. Cut, cut, cut the lining and do the exact same thing I did with the main fabric, which was do a machine basting stitch and marking the darts. I went ahead and sewed together the lining and the fabric for the front part. And I did some top stitching to hold that in place. So I was hoping to finish the front and the side portion, the main part of the sun top today, the part where the bunnies are, I had one more thing to do, which was the pleats. I was going to film me hand stay stitching because that was the next step, is I had to stay stitch or base the edges of the top and bottom of the pieces so that it holds together when I put the straps on. Anyway, while doing this, we had a power outage, so I'm sitting here in candlelight just waiting for the power to return. Oh, a friend came to visit me. Now I'm doing some basting stitches by hand to hold the lining in place with the main fabric. Now on the front pieces, I am marking the pleats, which I will hand baste before I sew on the straps. Now I'm just sewing together the pieces for the straps and the bottom trim so that they are long enough to fit. Can you say you've actually sewed if you don't bring the seam ripper out at least once? Now I ended up sewing this too close so it doesn't match the width, so I'm just going to open that up and re-sew it so that when I turn these inside out they will match in width better. Sewing up the straps, which I will then turn inside out. Alright, it took me way longer than I wanted it to get these straps inside out, pressed, and I'm ready to go for the next part. Just sewing on the straps. I just have it pinned in place. And even when I tighten it a little, well, actually, maybe if I tighten it, there's a little bit of gaping here, and I tried it on with a bra, but I don't like it with a bra on. So I think actually, because I marked it, because I was originally going to take it up to see if that would help, but if I can get the button placement, honestly, I think that's pretty good. I can just press that down. You can't really see it. There you go. I mean, is that too much gaping? What do we think? I mean, I could take it in just a little bit more, but I don't know if I really want to. I might, you know what I could do is I could probably just do like a little stitcheroonie here to hold it in place, and that helps the gaping a little bit. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just put a little stitcheroonie here, and ooh, what if I put a little button there? Is that too much? I really like that button detail of the original top, so yeah, I don't think this is that bad. I keep looking at, like, this side fits way better, so I don't know how is it lined up. And yeah, otherwise I think it's pretty good. It does pull on my neck just slightly, but I think that's just going to be the nature of the beast, because if I make it any looser, then it's like really going to gape. Even if I did do a little like stay stitch here, then it's going to like buckle and gape here. So I forgot to record that I did in fact sew the bottom. So I'm going to cut it off here, fold it on the inside, because that's where my buttons or my buttonholes will go. I don't know which side this is on at the moment. So never mind the mess behind me. We all have that. Okay, so just a couple things that I did off camera. I mentioned that when I was sewing on top here,
I missed a section on the back that I was unaware of. So I just did I think it's called a slip stitch. Oh God, my fingers look awful. I just did a slip stitch. And again, I did that off camera. So the button part, I wanted to fold it in and do the end, but then I was like, you know what, let me just add this extra tab that I cut off. So I'm gonna match the other side with this, and this is the side that the button slits go on that I kind of marked here. And yeah, so once that's done, then I get to pick out the buttons. Going to be right here. So let's go ahead and cut along this line. But now you see I'm left with this thing here, this part here. So what I'm going to end up doing, folding this in and sewing right on the line. Then I'm going to go ahead and measure with my eyeballs. Alright, so the fold needs to be on this end, so I will go ahead and just cut this little tabby end off here. And then once again, I do fold right on that edge of the pink. So I'm going to give this one a little bit of leeway. What's going on? Ah, it's getting caught. Alright. Happy little accidents, isn't that what Bob Ross says? Is there a sewing version of Bob Ross? Roberta Boss? There we go. Basically what I did is I did like a little hem tape, I guess. Just using the extra fabric. I marked where the buttons go. So I am 98% done with this top, it seems like. And all that's left is the buttons, and yeah, and I'll do that tomorrow. So, and it was before Easter. It's before April. Oh my gosh, I'm like cruising along.
Yeah, so what? Sew buttons on your top.
Now they're a little crooked. The sheen is going in a bunch of different directions, but it's fine. It'll serve its purpose. Yay! So I sewed my first buttonhole. So my buttonholes are very sloppy. Ugh, that's alright. Now I have to seam rip in between, and in order to not rip past the edges, just go ahead and put in a pin. Oh, that'll stop your seam ripper from going too far. Hurrah! Now let's do that for the rest. Yay! I finished my sun top. I'm so excited. The buttons and buttonholes are a little ratty. That's fine. That's fine. Stitching's not the worst, but it could be better. As far as the fit, there is still a little bit of gaping here, but I feel like no matter what I do, even if I was able to tighten it, that would restrict movement somehow, because as it is right now, the tighter it is, the better it fits, but the tighter it is, the tighter it is. You know, it's like a little too tight. I'm okay with that. The fabric will, you know, stretch out a little bit as it's being worn, so that's not really too much of a concern of mine right now. When I originally made the buttonholes, I was supposed to cut this off and fold it in, and I had some stitching that I didn't want to unstitch, so I put on these tabs, which made it a little bit too long. So even though it's fine when it's buttoned up, it still has a little tiny bit of a flap. I'm really not that terribly concerned about that. That one's like not too bad of an issue. So yeah, the fit is okay. Actually, the fit is pretty good. I don't even want to say it's okay. It's pretty good. I don't think I can wear it with a bra. I didn't want to wear it with a bra. The whole point of having a sun top is so I didn't have to wear it with a bra. I think that's it. So what more to say other than let's go for the reveal. So thank you for watching part 1 of the summer top challenge. I'm excited to move on to the ducks next and then the strawberries. So keep an eye out for that. Those don't have time limits like this did. And oh my god, I got it done before Easter. How exciting is that? Way done. Way before Easter. It's not even April yet. So let's keep this train a-going. So I will see you in the next one. Like and subscribe, and thanks.